Hi, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What's that?
I hate when I go into a sensory deprivation tank and come out a deranged monster from the early hominid period of mankind's evolution.
Oh, yeah, you went too far back. You don't want to go hominid. You want like post-hominid.
Yeah, well, tell that to my 23andMe report.
Ba-dum-bum, boy.
Yeah, we watched Altered States. Boy, so I saw this movie years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did not remember this. This is not the movie I remembered.
Yeah.
I remember this movie as being a heady, weird, like more like a Jodorowsky, which I'm sure I pronounced that perfectly, film. And this was just dumb shit, fake 60s nonsense.
Yes, and it's kind of great. Like I like that's
Yeah.
whether or not that's intended. That's kind of why I like this. And like is this? I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, sorta.
Yeah, there's certain things about Ken Russell as a director that I like, and reading some of the behind the scenes stuff too made me like this a little bit more, just in terms of him being a jerk.
On the trivia, they referenced that he was drunk a lot.
Which I like that. It just says that.
Yeah.
And what I wonder, like
No-
if someone
no
that's a
story.
big Patty Chayefsky fan was
Yeah.
like, because they fought on set the whole time, and Patty Chayefsky like stormed off, took his name off the movie.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that's some Patty Chayefsky fan. Like, no, fine. No, he was drunk the whole time.
The other thing in the trivia that, and this is going to be a third put, I think, on this episode, is they talked about William Hurt. And I'm going to try very hard not to call him John Hurt. William Hurt.
Yeah, well, just for the record, John Hurt is still the superior Hurt.
Oh, yeah. No,
You don't
there's
need to update your rosters. Don't need to change your
There's no
fantasy
doubt.
football. It's still
Yes.
John Hurt.
But because of his time on Doctor Who.
Now William Hurt has moved to the top of the list. William Hurt.
There's an anecdote on there that William Hurt was reading the script and he just broke into tears because this is exactly what he's been thinking about.
Yes.
And it comes through in the performance that I think William Hurt is an insufferable twat.
Quite possibly.
I think he sucks in this. I think every decision he made for the character was wrong, and he seems like a douche bucket.
He is a douche bucket in the movie, and I thought he played the douche bucketly. But that's also what this character is, all self-serious. And
Yeah.
so we talked a little bit. So Patty Chayefsky, who had written a couple of movies like Network, was riding high on the Hollywood hog, and wrote this as a novel, and then made this into a movie. And basically, like he was running the show. They were like, you pick who you want to direct it and all this stuff. Costs started to balloon. It changed hands to different. It's like it started with Columbia, and I think it ended up at Warner Brothers. I think is who made this. According to Ken Russell, there were 26 directors before him. They had approached 26
Yeah,
people.
I saw that
Because
quote.
there are a few different people they talked to. One of which was John Dykstra, who
Lenny's brother?
he did the special effects on Star Wars. I don't know if they approached him just to do the special effects or to direct it, but they
I
did.
said that jokingly, like, why would I know this guy's name? But actually, yeah, I do know that guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he left, and I think because I did read somewhere that the special effects team left during the making of this, but I think it might just be referring to John Dykstra. I couldn't get a clear read on that. But so Patty Chayefsky wrote this big sort of heady, everyone is talking these big pseudo-scientific or scientific things, and Ken Russell went, okay, yeah, we're gonna have everyone say all this stuff. We're just gonna have them say it all at once. That's why there are all these scenes of people talking
Yeah.
over each other, because he was like, there was so much dialogue.
I don't know if it's the writing or not. So here's my problem with William Hurt's performance in this he's kind of like an ersatz John Lilly. Do you know John Lilly?
Yes.
The dolphin guy.
Yep.
So for the audience at home, if you don't know him, very quickly researched LSD towards the end of his career. Got convinced if you gave dolphins LSD, you could talk to them. He's great, but he's charismatic, John Lilly. There's something about him that you're like, yeah, I kind of like. Yeah, you're probably right? Like, John, yeah, you probably can't talk to dolphins. There's something about him. There's nothing charismatic in this performance.
Yes.
He's just a guy that's like traditionally 70s handsome, and that's it. Like, there's just nothing there. And he's playing I guess they don't word it, but he's playing a psychotic, I guess is the idea. That's why he can't say I love you to that lady.
I mean, essentially, yeah. It's not said out loud that he's a psychotic weirdo.
Yeah.
But it's pretty implied.
The thing with that is like,
He's
all
just
right,
a renegade scientist.
like a Hannibal Lecter type or any psychotic we see on screen that's interesting is there's charisma, there's
Yeah.
a spark. He is a bore factory.
You want to watch me turn into a gorilla?
It is. I mean, that'd be great if he actually said that.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. But he said it like that too, like that weird sling blade delivery he
Yeah.
just gave.
It's my William Hurt.
But and the what's the actress that plays his wife?
Blair Brown.
Blair Brown, very good.
Yeah,
I
she's
think
great.
she's kind of endearing. I got her struggle. Like I got her. Like I don't understand what she sees in him.
Right.
But I think she plays the kind of torn like. I love this guy, but he's fucked up, and I love him even though like it comes across in a performance, and it almost makes it worse for him because there's just nothing there. It's just anyway. So it's really difficult for me to like extricate any
Yeah.
part of this movie that
Well,
isn't
here's-
just like, oh god, you're irritating.
Here's what I think. So he shows up. This is the go-go 70s. Right into the go-go. Well, it's actually the
John
go-go
Lithgow
80.
go.
Yeah. But when he shows up at the party, when they're first introduced, and you see him framed in the doorway, just white light spilling through.
Yes.
Beautiful. But she's taken by him. He's odd. And then when he's talking all the nonsense of what he's doing, all his studies into schizophrenics and stuff like that. And then she's like, hey, I want to bang you. And she's like, that fine, let's go do that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then when they're having sex, she's like, I'm just thinking about crucifixions. I think in her head, she's like, I got this, this guy's a tough nut to crack. I want to see what's going on here.
Yeah. So how do you deliver those lines and be uninteresting? How can you your handsome face is on a bare tit and you're saying I want to think about the crucifixion while fucking you and I'm bored by you saying it. That is like a superhero talent. That's like he should dress up as the Yawn. Just have like just a Y across his chest. Like what a fuck. Oh god, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was so annoying because like I actually kind of like the movie, but it's like despite of the lead and
Sure.
a lot of it's the directing as well. There's some really awkward edits. Like all right, so we start off basically they meet at the party, and I'm kind of liking it because he hasn't been annoying yet. Then they jump like 6 months. No, they jump 3 months,
Yeah, there's a lot of time jumps in the
and then they
beginning.
jump like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, we're about to get divorced. Where he shows nothing of that. Like there's just so nothing with him. It's so
Yeah.
fucking irritating. I want John Lilly. I want a charismatic psychotic.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because later when he, it's revealed that he's just having sex with one of his students, and it's like that does not matter. And I'm not saying that
yeah.
like flippantly or this is a negative thing about the movie. They just don't care. They're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, no. And then he's banging this lady, and now he's seeing hell, and then he loves this woman at the end.
Yeah.
It's
I did like the ending. It's about him getting like realizing that his lady's pretty swell.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like a grandiose story that just the end payoff is like, yeah, you know what, my wife, she's pretty boffo.
turns out be yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's this scientist along with Bob Balaban that is
Balaban.
doing some fun research on the side about sensory deprivation tanks and stuff like that, and he's been hallucinating and really curious about how this might also apply to the regular work he's doing, which is with schizophrenics.
Yeah. What other movie was it that at the end he just went, oh yeah, by the way, I've been having visions my whole life.
It was just Super. Well,
Oh, that was Super.
It was like
That was right.
10
That was-
minutes in
that
where
was-
he's like,
That was Super. Yeah, just to throw it. It's the exact same thing happened in this. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I used to have all these visions when I was a kid. Usually weird, like weird Christian stuff.
Yeah, and so he ends up hooking up with this woman at a party, and starts saying this whole thing about how he used to have visions, and then like his dad was dying of cancer, so he just gave up his faith, stopped having visions. But he's still kind of obsessed.
No, this
with,
is while his head's still on that lady's tit, right? He's talking about his
yeah,
dad.
probably.
Yeah.
Which I like, again, on IMDb, one of the pieces of trivia is that even counting Neanderthal mode, the William Hurt's character, William Jessup, is nude for 40% of the movie.
Yeah, well,
And I want to know how they got that math, but I absolutely do not want to know how they got that math.
so this is what I was trying to tell. I texted you saying there's far too much Neanderthal crotch in this, and you're like, oh, I didn't notice. Really? Most of this movie is either Neanderthal crotch or him doing the Kyle Reese pose.
It doesn't affect
to
me.
try to cover it. I'll say it affects you.
I'm too woke. I just don't even notice it. I don't see crotches.
But him talking about Jesus and his dead dad, and that's the way he gets with her, which is wonderful. What so my confusion in this movie, well, there's some parts that just make no sense. But what was he studying in the float tank to begin with?
That was just sort of for fun. He said like just a little bit like how the mind works and what it does under these.
So just general float tankery.
Kind of, yeah, because he talks about when after the initial thing with him and Bob Balaban, he's about how there's not a lot of research done on it, and most of it is like on the hallucinations and what might be inside. A lot of it's drug apologia. I don't know how to say that word. Is that it? Apologia?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever said it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird to say.
Apologia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
But like how it's
Our
like
dumb shit audience doesn't even know that word.
yeah,
Bunch of
stuff
dumb
that
shit.
stuff that fell out, with Tim Leary and those guys.
Yeah.
But that just for fun, because even Bob Balaban's like, why would we do this? He's like, for fun. We got access to it. Like I forget what he calls it.
Apologia.
Apologia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologia.
That's oh God, forget it. I just
Robert Loggia. But yeah, so he's interested in this kind of stuff, like what lies inside.
yeah. Another weird. So, have you been in a float tank before?
Yeah.
Why are they in a vertical float tank?
That's what the one they had. I don't know. I don't know the evolution of float tanks, because later when they see one that's horizontal, they're like, that's weird. It's horizontal.
Oh, because the only ones I've ever known are horizontal.
Yeah.
And like the Lily ones, I thought were horizontal.
I don't know. I don't
And
know
it's
Lily
not.
that well.
It's not a sensory deprivation tank because there's a big open spot where you can see his face, and there's lights on in there.
Well, that's why he's wearing the blackout goggles.
Yeah, it's just an odd. I mean,
I don't know, man. I didn't build it.
well,
Quit
why
yelling
not?
at me.
Why didn't you build it? Why couldn't you have been, when this movie went into production, -1 years old,
Yes.
and get some goddamn float tank? You were floating in your mother's uterus at the time.
That would be cool to do a vertical one, although the whole time I'd just be thinking of Empire Strikes Back
Oh yeah.
and like being in a Bacta tank or whatever.
Just by the way, I know it's not a uterus. I said the wrong word. Shut up. I just felt the audience yell at me. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm well aware.
That happens every episode.
You float
can just
in
feel them.
vulvas. I know how the the woman's astronomy works.
Station wagon? During this one of the first time jumps, 6 months in, he's back doing drug research with schizophrenics, and I love the scene where she proposes to him.
Oh yeah, she's so great in that.
Yeah, because she's just like, we should get married. This seems to be good. We've been together a few months. This seems to be going places. Like, we should get married. And he's all like, I don't know how to love. And like, meanwhile, while there's like insanity happening all around them, and he's just trying to change the subject. And finally, he's like, fine, we'll get married and make baby happy.
Yeah.
That's almost too much of a jerk. That's being a jerk, though, and that gives him too much emotional range. He's just like, yeah, fine. I'm William Hurt.
I don't get it. I don't understand the acting. It's baffling to me. Why not? Also, his growth as a character is non-existent until the end.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess it sort of makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just obsessed with his like this viewing inward, is going inward, and he's shutting off everyone around him.
Yeah, and also I didn't really like the kind of space baby imagery they kind of hinted at during this, because like, don't invoke a better movie.
Oh, sure, but I did like the hallucination scenes a lot.
Yeah, they were cool. So there was two things that I disliked, and only because of the time, and I don't really understand why it was. One is that multi-eyed goat looked like shit.
Oh, I loved it.
What a cool concept. But it looks so much like a prop. It's like there's no life there. So that I've been fine, whatever. It's the 70s. They didn't have the technology we have now. But why does 70s blood and then I guess 80s blood? Why does it look so shitty?
Fake blood technology just wasn't there yet. Now it's all CG. So,
but how?
I'm excited to see it.
But how did it be that? How did it be that bad?
I don't know. I didn't notice it.
Oh really? I always noticed it in any like 70s stuff. It looks I don't know, this one looked a little more Kool-Aid-y than normal. Usually it looks like red paint.
Well, yeah, if you watch a lot of like crappy horror movies and like Italian westerns and stuff, you see a lot of really crummy blood.
So wait, let's go back to because this is the establishment one in the visions he's having. He sees the goat. He's on the cross, or he sees the cross. Somebody crucified with the goat head.
Now, is this is during his ayahuasca scene?
Right? No, this is earlier.
Okay.
This is like before they get married. Like he has I don't know. I have the thing. He has a vision where this is a float tank vision. He sees his dad, a fish, the Bible, some multi-headed goat head on a cross.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
like there is this throughput in this of this Christian imagery or iconography or whatever that when he was young he had some kind of faith and his father when he died he lost it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to be nitpicky. It's just so that why have that be the throughput and not have it pay off at the like why not have the end be a religious awakening?
Well, I think it is part of the throughput in that he sees it at first at this like, we can tap into this real religion basically that like it's all just inside of us. Because there's even a conversation about like she says you're just replacing God with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but I know where I am. I'm in here. But it's like that starts his obsessive quest. But then it really starts to become even more than that. That's more like the bait. That's what's getting him into this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think because I think the Christian iconography really starts to bail as you go in. Although there is still some hell imagery there, but the any sort of like crucifix or anything like that, you stop seeing about halfway through.
I'm just unsatisfied with his character arc, and again, a lot of it is the acting, but like, it's not like you see him learn over the course of it. He's just a douchey stuff. Yeah, I love this lady.
Yep.
Wow, what a big learning experience.
Yep.
There was a great speech in here by his wife, where it's right before the marriage proposal, where she's like, you remind me of a flagellant. You're just in here whipping your back, just having, and she gives this beautiful monologue like, this lady's great. And then he responds back with, I'm a wooden box. I have wooden box emotions.
Yeah.
Wooden box. Okay, I will marry you, wooden box. Yeah. He reminds me of, if you ever heard the stories of the real Men in Black, where they show up and they're almost like robots and like, they're just these weird, like, they're just robots in suits. They're like, did you see the UFO? Oh, can I go in your house and drink coffee cup tea? Like, just, like, it's just, yeah, it's like the original stories of these weird, like, odd acting things that are like simulacra of humans. And that's what he is. Yeah. He's just,
I will say generally his performances tend to make me uncomfortable, regardless of what movie he's in. I should go in a flotation device for a while and think about why that is.
Think about your dad.
But
wait, has William Hurt been in anything good?
The History of Violence, but he's like weird in that. Like he's like doing a whole character. I'm sure he had Kiss of the Spider Woman. He's good in that.
I thought Kiss of the Spider Woman was terrible. Oh no, I'm thinking Lair of the White Worm.
Yes, which is another Ken Russell movie.
Which is Ken Russell. That's why I was in my head. Yeah.
Which is even campier than what this kind of becomes.
Yeah. Oh, he also did. He was also in Lost in Space.
Oh, right.
Which is, I mean, really, really great. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at it. Oh, and he was in Avengers Endgame. That's why I love him.
Oh, yeah. He became General Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's terrible at being an actor, and he should be banned from it.
But he, so he, in his quest to keep finding this brain stuff, he gets in touch with someone. He's going back to Mexico. He's going down to Mexico to take part in a hallucinatory ritual.
Well, this is a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking about, so this is the real story. So magic mushrooms weren't known in America until somewhat recently, where they basically found them in Mexico and brought them back up. I mean, like really, like the last 100 years, like really recently.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a thing. And that's what they're calling on here, like the that story. So the whole thing, he talks to his guide when he goes to Mexico to find these mushrooms. You talk about Amanita muscaria, this whole thing. And then they go to an ayahuasca ceremony, which is weird because we had a whole conversation about mushrooms. And then they go to a...
You're talking to Midwestern rubes in the 1980s. They don't know that.
No, that's fine. It's just weird that they would, like... Why not just talk about ayahuasca? That's it. Like, we did a whole setup to a drug,
right?
And then have a ceremony. And I love the ceremony. It was just weird. It'd be like, all right, so heroin works this way. You put a needle in your arm. You feel this euphoric rush. Sometimes you feel a little nauseous. Anyway, here, do some lines of coke. Well, why did we have the conversation about heroin?
Well, I mean, like, because it's me going like, oh, that must be how they do mushrooms. You know, I don't know. I don't know. The
Oh no, I got
difference.
you. It just,
Yeah.
I guess it would just be interesting. It's just a weird choice from the writing
Yeah,
perspective.
but I mean, like, if you don't know,
No, I got you. Yeah.
it's way cooler to have a whole ceremony. And
Oh
like,
no, I love that. It's just why not
the,
have the guy
the
be
mushroom
like,
is a little bit easier of
Yeah.
a icon to show or to
Yeah,
represent than whatever ayahuasca is.
I don't know. I'm not from your rube,
Yeah.
hayseed, popcorn eating states.
Do you know why it's called ayahuasca?
I mean, I would like to know the horrible thing you're about to say.
Because it's a combination of Iowa and Nebraska, which would achieve
Ah.
the perfect state.
I thought it was because they're really big into real big fish in Iowa,
Yes,
ayahuasca.
ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well,
this is-
so anyone that's still listening, we're gonna keep talking about this movie now.
yes. It was just weird choice. But I did. I love that ceremony scene.
Yeah,
Like that. The lead dude that like cuts his hand.
yeah. Well, the brujo, the
Yeah.
the wizard. What I like is when he walks in, and it's really jarring when it starts because you just see the entrance of the cave, like you're inside the cave, and it's light is pouring in, and you see them walking up, and the soundtrack is just this blaring, like almost again almost 2001, that kind of noise.
Yeah.
But it's like you find out it's like this musicians in the cave playing for the ceremony. And when it cuts to them right after they walk in, it cuts to musicians, and one of them starts playing these really low notes. And I couldn't help but just think William Hart going, "Are you calling me fat?"
That would
That would be my
fantastic,
first
yeah.
thought. Is like, this, oh, is
I
that
just-
about me?
I just kept thinking that the little things they were playing reminded me there's Ricola horns.
Oh, totally, yeah.
It's like because my brain's broken. But positive point to this movie, especially in 1980. So the Brujo, well done using that term, comes out and he's like going to walk them in. He's like, yeah, you can have this ceremony. He kind of walks him through what he's going to do. He's like, first you're going to see like the crack in the universe, and then it's going to open and flip your insides out. And it's a cool little speech. But
Yeah.
my entire thought is, I bet you that guy's name is like Robert David Strum, and he's born in England, and
Oh, the
like
actor?
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be so far away from like any kind of indigenous, and it's like no, his name is like Screaming Eagle White.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you actually hired like an authentic
An
yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh wow, way to be woke in 1980. Like shocking. It's like Iron Eye Cody
Right,
was
yeah.
actually like an
An
Italian
Italian
dude.
guy, yeah.
I was just making
Hey,
something
old
like that.
lady over here.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I respect the Mother Earth. I use all the parts of the buffalo. A goosh.
What?
It's turned into Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh.
Yeah.
But so then he takes whatever the ayahuasca mushroom thing is, and starts having this crazy freak out that I liked. A lot of it was just them shooting fireworks at him off camera.
What a weird choice.
I loved it. It's so bizarre.
I will admit in front of an audience, because I've done it a million times on the outcasts, I've done a lot of psychedelics in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And especially on acid. I've never done ayahuasca, but on acid, sometimes you'll see explosions. You'll see like, bright, explodey kind of lights showing up in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
Which this actually did a really good job. Like, oh my God, it is what it looks like. Except for the dumb firework noises. Where it's
Yeah.
like, somebody obviously has done acid before they did this scene, because they did a really faithful like adaptation of it. But why keep the firework noise in? It was
Yeah.
such a weird choice. I mean, I kind of loved it, but it was really odd.
Well, I also wonder, maybe it was the studio being like, people aren't going to know what this is. Add fireworks sounds.
Yeah. The thing I know about South American shamans, they love their fireworks.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, then it goes in this big, like, quick cut, crazy hallucination thing of him and his wife sit, like, dressed in, like, 18th century garb, or like in
Yeah.
the 20s, like sitting at a garden table eating some kind of custard.
Yeah, it looked like The Prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with like crazy, what's his face? Ken Russell loves like rear projection stuff like that. I feel like so many of his movies have that.
Yeah, there's a ton of rear projection in this. A lot of they kept doing what looked like some kind of early version of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Like some like stock footage 1920s.
Yeah,
Dante's Inferno.
I believe actually some of it is from something like an old
No, that's
movie.
what it looks
Yeah.
like. It looks like they grabbed something that they had the rights to, or the
Yeah.
rights lapsed, and they just shot in the background during that.
But what's interesting is during this whole thing, I couldn't help but think, what does this look like on the page? Like when you're writing a script and you're writing like freak out scene, What does
Yeah.
that look like? And I went to look it up, half expecting it to be like, and he trips out. Have fun with this one, guys.
Yeah.
I'm leaving that to you. But what Paddy Chayefsky wrote is even more insane.
Oh, really?
It's this whole thing about him leaving his body and then like energy traveling like 5 million light years, like a puff of smoke or something. All the stuff that Ken Russell just went, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I can't possibly do that. We don't have that much money. And I think that was another reason that Paddy Chayefsky got super pissed. Because he'll say, Ken Russell, said like, we did most of his stupid dialogue. I just changed some things in the Mexico sequences.
Yeah. Well, as someone that wrote some pretty psychedelic, mushroom-inspired scenes in a novel, I would say that Periphery, my novel, is available on Amazon.com for purchase, Kindle and hard copy. Just search for Alex Bolin on Amazon. So I can see where Chayefsky's coming from.
But I just wanted to see what it looked like is all. Like,
Yeah.
And then he sees,
I'm just saying, what, did you not read my book?
no, I don't read, but this has been established.
Wait, yeah, but you keep going back on that and saying the books you've read.
Or do I?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, damn it. All
Yeah.
right.
I edited that one. I left it in.
Damn it. Anyway, but like in terms of like in a script, like because
Oh, no, I got what you're saying. I just thought it'd be funny to throw like a really
Yeah.
awkward plug in.
in my face calling out my reading.
Yeah, what else happened? So they've got the fireworks going off.
So the fireworks going off. Then he has this hallucination. Then like the snakes wrap around his head in the hallucination.
Oh, that's
then,
right.
Then it cuts to, and I really like this. At one point, he sees a small lizard in his hand. Like he's looking at the wound in his hand. They cut open his hand and put some blood in the stuff he's about to take. And he's looking at the wound in his hand. Lights are shooting out, and then a lizard appears on his hand. Then it's a Komodo dragon on the ground, and then it like becomes his wife. And then they both turn to ash. And they're just blown away.
Yeah,
and I
that
really
scene
like
was
that.
really good. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was kind of brilliant. Like especially how slowly they turned into like ash, and then the ash turns into like a dunescape. Yeah, that was really good.
They spent a lot of time with it, and then it just is like boom, you're back in reality. Here's a dead lizard. He apparently killed a lizard and put on pants.
I love how awkward that is because it's
Yeah.
like I don't remember doing that. That his friends like just get the fuck out of here. You killed that lizard.
Yeah. I could have sworn he was wearing shorts in the previous scene, and then he was wearing pants.
He was because he had really awkward socks.
Yeah.
I was looking at his socks a lot.
But when they go back, when this next day, when it cuts back to the live lizard, he's wearing pants.
Well, they're probably like shamanistic pants.
Oh, okay.
You know, like if you're going to an ayahuasca ceremony, you need pants.
One of the guys in the tribunal was a pants guy.
Yeah.
Like don't worry about it. I got your knees covered.
He was on like
literally.
one season of The Sopranos. You know,
Yes.
he was in The Matrix.
Poo. We all knew what you were doing there.
Really?
I'm not giving it a name.
Oh, okay. Classic comedy.
But so after he has this whole serenity thing, he's able to take the liquid back with him, and then he and Bob Balaban start doing tests with it, and they bring in that other guy, Mason,
Yes.
who I love his voice, just this pinched Southern voice,
Yeah,
like always reprimanding people.
And he's like a big dude because he fireman carries two different people in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is great. But also, what we're missing is he goes in the float tank and he has the first full he becomes a Neanderthal thing.
Yes. Well, we're not missing because we weren't there yet.
Yeah. Well, okay. What we're getting to because I just want to get to the most important part of this movie.
Yeah.
He tries to talk Bob Balaban and saying, no, this actually happened. And then Mason doesn't doubt him or whatever. It's like, we need to get some x-rays taken because he realizes that it's part of his like laryngeal area was there's like a balloon structure that was in
sac,
the,
yeah.
it was in like apes and early hominids that it's not in humans. John fucking Larroquette is the x-ray
Yes.
technician. I was irrationally happy to see John
yeah.
Larroquette. I like that man brings so much joy to my. I'm like, yes, it's fucking Dan Felding.
Yeah, I have
Fielding,
no
whatever.
idea. I had the same exact reaction because it wasn't just like, oh, it's John Larroquette. It was like, yes, hooray!
Yeah, I was
like
like-
I just personally accomplished something by
Yeah, I was
looking at John
legitimately
Larroquette.
excited to see him. It was weird, and it's not even like he's like some guy that I've like followed his career.
Yeah.
Really
I
good
just
to
am
see him.
very excited to see him.
Yeah.
Just the Second Sight Detective Agency is coming, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, so this is the whole physical kind of regression thing, which, I mean, we should probably take a moment to discuss this. So this movie is an analog to John Lilly, studying, what happens with acid, going in float tanks, etc. Plumbing the consciousness, human consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and then basically says, "Oh no, it turns out, yeah, like time and space, you're actually going to become become a Neanderthal.
Yeah, well, they start talking about early on. He mentions that schizophrenics will like change them. He's like, there's been some research into them, like sort of changing themselves to be this image of themselves.
Yeah.
He said it more.
No, there was
than I am, but-
because that was during the part where he talks about I think the secret's in the limbic system.
Yeah,
which
so
I
he's
wrote
just
down 'cause I like how serious he was
basically
about that,
yeah. So he's basically doing that times a billion. Like he's just supercharging that.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to read the book, but I'm curious if in the book it's more that it's a human being, like a Homo sapiens sapiens, running around naked, acting as if he was a Neanderthal,
Yeah,
or it's as done in the movie where you physically, like, you see the weird bubble packs under his arm, which I thought looked badass.
yeah.
Like physically turning into Neanderthal, because this movie really loses me at that point, because
It gets
it's fun, but I don't know. The amount of time we spent on other stuff, maybe we could have just at least a little bit more of a sprinkling that this is remotely in the realm of possibility.
But I kind of like that ridiculous jump it takes, and I'm
Yeah,
not like
I mean, I guess
I'm not.
you're kinda
This isn't
right,
this
yeah.
isn't to the movie's credit. It's just personally something that I really enjoyed. That it's like at the beginning, it's all this like this heady talk of all this stuff. That is like, no, I turned into a monkey.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of like, it's not a positive towards the film, and I think that's
Yeah.
what I'm struggling with, because I did enjoy it, but like not for the reason. It's almost like The Room, where it's like, yeah, that's not why you want people to watch this movie.
Like that whole flight of fancy where he is the Neanderthal. Like that, I don't enjoy that whole sequence, other than to see some sweet hanging Neanderthal Wang. But
Yeah,
like because it's just, yeah, we get it. He's an ape and he's doing, or he's regressing. He's doing these regressing like things. Because then he's back to normal, and he's like, yeah, that's fine. You probably thought it was weird that I woke up naked in the zoo.
well, okay, there's a couple things to talk about there. One, I liked him running with the dogs. That was fun. Two, I don't know who they got to be the Neanderthal, if that was him or not, but like that guy was fucking really athletic. Like, he was like climbing up walls and like doing like, that was some really impressive shit. Like whatever like stunt dude did that, or if it is old Billy Hurt,
Right.
it can't have been him, but shit, that guy was good. Like when he scaled that one wall, like kind of monkey climbed that pipe, I was like, motherfucker, this is like what's that shit called when people run up buildings?
Oh, parkour.
Parkour, yeah.
Yeah, freestyle walking.
Oh,
But later, like when he's like in the I don't remember if this is after that or before it, but where he's like in the shower and he looks down and he sees his feet have changed into
well,
like,
that was just extra weird.
and then he's just like, ha ha ha. So it seems like the movie wants to start to try to take you on this, like, is he going crazy or not? Where, you're still sort of seeing everything from his point of view, so to speak. But
yeah.
during that sequence, there are cops and other things talking about how he's an ape. So it kind of
but also-
gets rid of all that.
But they showed
questions.
evidence of the laryngeal sac or whatever.
Right.
So it can't be that. I think that's part of my problem with the structure of the film is at no point can we even entertain the idea that it's just him going insane. Because like the first thing they do is find definitive evidence, and it's
Yeah.
like when he shows it to his other colleague, he's like, "Well, what's this? Your friend's a gorilla?"
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, okay, well there goes any hope of this movie having any depth or interestingness about
Right.
what's
And
going
so
on.
it just
at
sort
the
of
end.
jumps. He's like, yeah. So now he's just turning into a monkey, and then it just gets even weirder because he's still he's just more obsessed about going down this path.
I liked the progression. So after he does the full monkey freak out and they find him in the zoo, he talks Mason and Bob Balaban into doing a full, like, let's watch him go into the tank. We're going to prove this shit. This is where I'm kind of a little bit more on the movie side about how weird it is. Where it turns into like a swirling mass, where he turns into like some kind of homunculus, and then the float tank explodes. Like,
Yes.
it's just that shit. There's like there's a tsunami inside of it. Like,
Well, because he makes some passing comment earlier about like real energy in there,
yeah.
but I don't know if that's supposed to be that. I didn't take that as kinetic. You know what I mean? I took it more as a spiritual thing. But
No,
apparently,
no,
nope, it's gonna do stuff.
So one of the things I wish had happened during this part, so they show him like being all like weird homunculus and its body's getting all weird and jacked up. I would have liked to have seen him come out in like, they do this in every sci-fi movie and most sci-fi TV shows, where he's now the future version of himself, so which basically means he's bald with a big forehead.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I now know all. But is this where they have that weird scene where he like lights his wife on fire?
No, that's at the very, very end.
Okay,
Because
okay.
because what happens is she
Wait. So what happened? Wait. So he does the whole like light show and the thing explodes.
yeah,
Right?
the tank explodes, like hurling Mason away, and his wife has shown up, and she sees all this light pouring out. So you get that neat shot of her putting her hand in the window. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But she eventually like goes in there, and he's regressed far enough that he's basically becoming a galaxy. It seems like he's just like
Yeah.
this swirling mass. Then she's somehow able to get inside of it and pick him up, and like, hey,
Yeah.
we're losing you. And,
You know what we missed in this movie? Neanderthal fuck scene. When he escaped the zoo, he should have gone back to the house and just had a really awkward sex scene with his wife.
Yeah, I'm real upset that didn't happen.
No, but think about how weird this movie is. That'd
Yeah.
be great. Considering there was a scene with his head on her tit talking about how he's thinking about crucifixion and his
Yeah.
dead dad. There's a full Neanderthal on human fuck scene, and like she could be into it, like in like a. I don't mean like in a.
We've
I don't
gone
mean
in your whole fantasy kingdom.
No,
here.
I'm not saying fantasy. Like I'm not saying like I want to watch like moaning or anything. I'm just saying it'd be really weird to see like somebody being into it. Like fuck it, this movie's weird. Let's turn into the skid.
I mean, it does. It just doesn't turn into that particular
She
skin.
could be like call me Jane Tarzan, and then
yeah. So less turning into galaxies, more ape fucking.
yeah. I mean no, I'm not saying turn down the galaxies. I'm just saying turn it up that sweet Neanderthal dong.
So
You know,
extra
actually, back in early
special edition.
in early hominid days, humans still had a dick bone. Like most mammals have dick bones. I forget what they're called, but could have fucked her with that dick bone.
Great. No, I don't want to see that at all. Thank you.
Yeah, talk about William Hurt.
But so he's gonna turn into him not having had monkey sex turns into a
Well, I don't know. He was looking at that rhino with some he had a more on the mind.
sure.
What about that? Would you like that better? Fuck the rhino.
Yeah, well, if it was consensual, and
I did
and
laugh at that when
romantic.
when the monkey when he's as a monkey goes into the zoo and he's at like the rhino enclosure or it was a hippo or whatever the fuck it
Yeah.
was. What a weird choice. Like they had on set had to build like an animatronic rhino and just have it sitting there and have him in a fucking monkey suit next to him.
Well, this was filmed in the Bronx Zoo. That was
Oh no shit.
yeah. So that was not since.
Hey, I'm a rhino over here.
Yeah, that's way better than whatever I was going to say. So let's just go. with that.
Humanity, forget about it. See, because he forgot about his humanity.
So yeah,
Like forget about it. Like the thing that people say on the East Coast.
my dick bone, forget about
Yeah.
it. So they bring him back, and that's when Bob Balaban is super fired up because what's his face? Willem Hurt's just in bed, sleeping it off, and then you get this list. It's almost like a coda on the whole thing because they leave there. Like Bob Balaban wants to like do more of this because we're really tapping into something, and they leave, and it's just his wife, Blair Brown, whose character name I cannot remember. And he starts walking down the hall towards her, and he starts regressing again and becoming this homunculus thing.
Well, there's an interesting thing that happens here that that I wish they didn't do the scientifically this is happening thing, because when he starts hallucinating here, you see these two red shapes that are this just odd kind of, it almost looks like an embryonic kind of thing. But then when you see the inside of their apartment where he is, you see those two red shapes are like wall hangings.
Oh,
Which, to me,
Oh,
if
yeah,
we had
yeah,
done
yeah.
less, like, prove that he actually became a monkey, I think it'd be cool. We could have this, like, weird hanging thing of, like, oh, is this just him going nuts
Right.
and pulling the data from he sees while he's, on a shitload of drugs?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they don't
just
do
went-
that. And it's just
they
like,
just
it's like,
went
they
Monkey
just,
Town.
but like, ah, shit, you were like,
I was a teenage werewolf.
yeah, you were a couple of quick edits away from this being actually, like, a thing. But no, anyway.
Yeah, but so he starts regressing back and becomes this weird sort of like fuzzy lumpkins, homunculus thing, and she reaches out to touch him, and then he basically like infects her with what he has. I can't tell exactly what's going on there, but that's what
Yeah.
I read that as. Yeah, and she becomes like this red, veiny, kind of looks like she's on fire sort of thing, and she is not happy about it. She does. She is screaming and upset.
Yeah, she looks at the bad guys from season 3 of The Dragon Prince. I have not had sex in a really long
I
time.
don't even know.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the nerdiest thing I can say.
I didn't even know there was a season 2.
Followed by the phrase, baculum is the name of a dick bone.
Oh, Scott Bakula?
Dude, you have no idea how much I wanted you to say that, because the second I think of that,
Yeah, I
thought
mean
about
that's
Scott
slow hanging
Bakula.
fruit. That's right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And I don't think it hangs. It's got like a bone in it.
Oh, okay. It's more of a straight just jut.
Yeah. Gushy, I need you.
But
Do you think anybody would understand that reference?
I don't.
Oh, okay. It's a character on Quantum Leap.
I know Ziggy.
Yeah, Gushy is the one that Ziggy and Gushy are the ones on the other side with the guy from David Lynch movies.
There's a character
Al.
named Gushy.
Yeah,
Ugh. That's unpleasant.
that's what happens when you play against Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
You get
Ugh.
gushy.
You get gushy.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway,
I got a Bakula over here.
the solution to going to regressing to becoming a galaxy, throw yourself against the wall a whole bunch. And then you're fine.
So hold on. I would like to read to you. I haven't done this in a while. My direct notes. Mm-hmm. Okay, they touch hands and she turns to lava? Mm-hmm. The science of this is strange. He beats up a wall to become him again. Oh, now they hug and are better. This is just simple math.
Yep.
Because that's how science works.
Yeah.
He touches her, she turns to lava, and then he beats up a wall, become a human again.
Kind of comes to him again and then like hugs her, saving her, and then he goes, I love you. And then it ends.
Yeah. So here's
hilarious.
Here's a weird thread of. I mean, it's definitely not in the movie, but maybe in the book. But was he beating her?
Not that I got.
Because there's two spots where, when he's in the cave, where he's in the ayahuasca ceremony, the lizard that he kills was his wife at one point. They kind of go back and forth with each other. So it's a 1-to-1 that he stabs his wife, but in lizard form. And in this one is his touching her turns her into a beast, and then his rage is the thing that gets it out of it. I don't know, there's intimation that I'm wondering if in the book there's a through line that like somehow like kind of halfway bled through into
That's
the
interesting. But
movie.
you could also make the argument that like his killing that lizard is wanting to sever his earthly ties to things, that his thinking outside of himself. Whereas the thing at the end is that his obsession is hurting those around him, and it's only then does he really realize, oh crap, I love this person.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be lava.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point in every relationship, you have to like really look at each other across a hall and say, honey, I don't want you to be lava.
I want you to be lava, baby.
Yeah. Well, anytime, like, you just play with my baculum a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
Quit talking
Come
about
on.
your baculum.
Just 2 fingers. You don't
No.
you don't just hold it a little bit.
Not watching Enterprise again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What else happened that we didn't talk about?
I don't know. That's most of it. Again, like for being, the budget was $15 million. And
Yeah, but $15 billion in 1980, buddy.
it's
That's
still
like,
like money. So it was, it ballooned. But like,
$7-8 billion now.
think about how bizarre that is, though. This was the movie that came out of it. Like this movie came out in 1980s. 1980 audiences watched this.
Yeah.
That's very bizarre. And I like the special effects. It's kind of, in some ways, that's how dated as they are. And I guess, actually, this was one of the earlier uses of computers for special effects, because the effects at the end, when he's the monster thing, but also kind of like fuzzy, that sort of matting was done with computers.
Yeah, I read that in the trivia,
Yeah.
which is, I have to say this ages better than like Tron and the other ones that they say are the early
Right.
examples of computer animation or computer aided special effects, because this does look 1980s good. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's and just I think for what the effects are trying to do, they don't have to be that realistic. So it's fine. That's kind of all hyper real, which I think is again like that sort of big hyper reality was not something the writer wanted. I think he wanted a more like straightforward. It seemed like Patty Chayefsky wanted more of the less silly aspects of this movie.
Yeah.
Basically, like, and Ken Russell went like, "No, you've seen the stuff I've made before. I'm going to make this kind of movie."
Yeah, and I think Pat Chayefsky was proven right in the end, because Ken Russell kind of just falls off a cliff, right?
Well, this movie, although it got some of the biggest, some of his best reviews, It didn't make that much, and I don't think he did a whole lot
Yeah.
after this. But he's had an impressive career and made some really great movies. The Devils is absolutely fantastic,
Oh, really?
which is
Yeah.
hilarious because it's rated. I got to see it here at the Hollywood, and it was the NC-17 version, and there is nothing in that movie that's any worse than anything on your average Game of Thrones episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the more sort of heretical stuff makes sense at the time. You know, it was the 70s, and like the Church of England freaked out about Life of Brian. So
Yeah.
it's no wonder they would freak out about this, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. NC-17,
Yeah.
like Scott Bakula.
Like Scott Bakula. But it's a really good movie, and probably my favorite one of his movies that I've seen.
I love Lair of the White Worm, only because that's the only other one I think I've seen.
It's so
Oh, it's terrible. I just
terrible,
said-
but it's like it's I don't want to say like it's meant to be, but it's that kind of style, that sort of pantomime theater.
Yeah.
Like
And
really
that's like
campy and over the top.
hokey H.P. Lovecraft, right? Isn't it?
No, not really.
Oh no! It's the guy that wrote Dracula. That's his other book.
Bram Stoker.
Yeah, it's Bram Stoker's
They keep
other
talking about the Dampton Worm, or I think is what it is. But yeah, it's Amanda Donahoe just chewing up the scenery, and
What?
yeah,
No, what name was that?
wasn't it Donahoe or is it Donahue?
No, just that name is like an octuple entendre. Amanchu Donahoe. I've never heard this name before. This is
Yeah.
like amazing.
No, that's weird how your mind works.
Really, after you've known me for how many years?
I know,
this-
but like I haven't seen it work that quickly on this dumb level.
oh,
before.
oh, okay, yeah.
Like I mean, like you to go like 12-year-old. I can't think of a good example.
Dick Boner.
Yeah, basically, like Donahoe. Yeah,
No, it's just like Amanda or whatever you said the first name was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
yeah. But it's a awful Hugh Grant with one eyebrow and your Doctor Who
No,
guy.
Hugh Grant.
What's the doctor? Peter Capaldi.
Capaldi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both in that one.
Yeah, I saw it years ago. I just I don't remember it. I just remember not being very good at all.
Nope.
Yeah, well, it was just have a short one. I can't think of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say
No,
about
that's the
this
thing. As I
movie.
was
Like,
watching it, it's like this is.
I was kind of hoping I was getting more. There would be more out of it but not really. Because I mean, yeah, sensory deprivation tanks are kind of cool. I had the same experience when I switched from skim milk to whole milk. So I can relate to this movie.
here's where we can fill a few minutes with this. Dr. John Lilly. He tries to figure out dolphin communication. One of the ways he does it is he gives acid to LSD to dolphins, and has his coworker, this attractive lady in her 20s, try to talk to dolphins. And he thought he was getting close, so he had her move in with her, with a dolphin. They built this apartment that all of her stuff is at water level. So like she got out of her bed, she stepped on the floor, and then the floor goes into a tank. So like she's essentially lives with a dolphin, or as close as you can as a human. And then so she's living with this dolphin, trying to like break the communication barrier. And one of the problems is the dolphin kind of started fancying the lady, as one does, and she found it was hampering their work. Of how much he fancied her, and was pitching woo in a dolphin like way. So in order to continue the work, she jerked the dolphin off to calm it down. So when we say that Altered States is an odd movie, the story of what it's based around, loosely based around, Altered States is not that odd of a movie.
Yeah.
Because the man that it's loosely based on, his work turns into jerking a dolphin off in his apartment that he lives in with another lady.
Right.
A human lady.
Yeah.
A human lady lived in an apartment with a dolphin that she was jerking off.
Yeah, that's not turning into gas. This man turned into gas. That's
That
crazy.
happened. No, that actually happened later too.
Oh, later? Oh,
yeah. John
okay.
Lilly started taking.
He had to jerk off the gas?
he started taking a combination of ketamine and LSD, and he turned into gas.
I would love to watch an Avengers style power team kind of thing of like John Lilly, the rocket dude that was the Satanist,
Werner von Braun. Oh no, Jack Parsons.
Jack Parsons. Yeah, just get like all these like science weirdos.
I think he just wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, that's depressing. Well, those are League of Extraordinary Gentlemen they're all fictional though. These are real people.
Well, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I don't believe it's fictional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not round. So what do we think? Do we tell people to watch this movie?
Yeah. I mean, I almost want to say yes, just as more of a curio sort of thing than
Yeah.
like. I would say if you're gonna watch a Ken Russell movie, watch The Devils. But if you like some of his other stuff, definitely check this out. It's if you want a drug movie, this ain't bad.
Yeah,
You know.
I recommend this to my friend Mel because she likes weird movies, and it literally I don't even like this movie, but I'm like I kind of want other people to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of Jodorowsky a little bit, and not in a Jodorowsky's infinitely better than this movie, but in that like I don't like his movies either, but they're like there's something to go through. They're like like an initiation rite of like when you come out the other side, you're like. Yeah, now I've seen Holy Mountain. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
See, I've never
know
seen that one.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen El Topo?
Yeah,
See, I've only seen El Topo, and El Topo was like, hey, what if this movie ended, but it just kept going?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, now this other movie is happening.
Yeah, they're all weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you probably watched this. Here's the thing: is if you've already watched Jodorowsky, watch this. If you haven't watched Jodorowsky, go watch those because they're like
Yeah.
vibey. Like what the good things in this you're gonna get from there, and then watch a better movie.
This is like
And it's a lot more pretentious.
it's like a matinee version of Jodorowsky.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. It's a little bit numbed down a bit, but yeah. I mean, apart from William Hurt, I really like everything about this movie. For even its flaws, I enjoy.
Yeah, I think to put a bow on it. If there was a better lead, this movie would be like 40% better in my estimation. Like,
Make Bob Balaban the lead. So
yeah,
so we're starting this. We're going to go to change.org, sign our super director's cut, where we digitally insert Bob Balaban as the lead, as this movie
they
should
could do
have.
it. I just saw a clip of they deep faked Back to the Future with
Tom Holland.
and Iron Man. Yeah.
That makes me so mad.
I didn't watch it. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
I should not.
If we're gonna watch deep fakes, I'm gonna say it's gonna be some baculum based stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But it's yeah. I don't need to get into it, but it's terrible. That shouldn't happen, and I'm against it.
Yeah. I just realized that on the show I've brought up cloaca and baculum.
Yeah. This only those two things. This is a step for you.
Yeah. I probably should like
Usually you're
Die.
much more about the whole. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah.
like
but
soon. Stop.
what killed him? He said baculum too many
Yeah.
times.
'Twas the baculum that killed the beast. All right. Hey John, I'm embarrassed that I kept saying baculum this week. So I'm gonna invite somebody better on for next week to talk with us. And at that point, you talk.
Oh, I'm the guest. Excellent.
Yes.
I talk much better than good. You
We
no.
talk good, some Sedaris.
Card read good. Yeah. So next week we're gonna have a special guest, Ted Douglas, join us to talk about Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
Yeah.
which is a movie that in the past I have not liked. He loves. Ted and I have argued a lot online. Ted is a local former radio personality, now back on the radio a little bit now. Comedian, man about town, funny dude, and opinionated guy. So he'll come on to yell at us about Scott Pilgrim.
What's his downstairs stitch? Like you get baculum, no baculum?
You know what? We've not gotten that close.
Well, I know what my first question is.
Yeah, all right. So next week it'll be just me and Ted, due to a restraining order.
Next week it'll be Alex tries to overcome the awful urge that he fell to because I'm now going to do that. I've not seen Scott Pilgrim. I'm looking forward to it. It's got a lot of people that went on to be big after that movie, so it's be interesting to see their kind of early self.
Yeah, and I'll see. Now that I'm a little bit further away from that age, the age group that it. Why can't I not think of words today? I wonder if I'll like it more that I'm older.
Apologia.
I wonder if I'll like it now that I'm older. I don't know. But some time is we live in a different time now, and I might not be as irritated by some of the zeitgeist around it. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
And I look forward to another science word about balls.
Yep. Every week, guaranteed, new balls.
Yes. Bye.